Okay, we're rolling. We're rolling. Okay, dokie. Anyway, welcome. I was going to sit down a wee bit. Reverend I Am Jolly. For Scottish viewers, you will remember that was Ricky Fulton. I'm going to start this again. Ricky Fulton, I Am Jolly. It's a very Scottish comedy thing. A lot of my viewers from America. Howdy partners, welcome to the Black Lodge Ramblings on this damp, dreary March evening. There's been a lot going on. This video is going to be a compilation of stuff. I did my first tasting, went really well. It's amazing what YouTube and conversations can teach you about whiskey to give you the confidence to go and present a tasting. If you would like me to, I might do a wee video about just how I kind of pulled that together. I think I might even do it. You know what? You can tell this isn't scripted. Let's do it. I've got the whiskies here because I've emptied them out of my bag. We'll go through what I took them through. Japanese, we did the Yamazaki first. They loved it. It's gone. It's all gone. The people that loved it seem to love it because it was really easy to drink. It's a Distiller's Reserve. It is an easy whiskey to drink. And at the end when I said, what would you like? Quite a few of them came and the bottle was finished. We also had, you know this bad boy, Thompson Brothers. That went down well. People really enjoyed that. I then followed it up with a Glenfarclas 21, which was a bit punchy to say the least in terms of, hi guys, if you're getting into whiskey here, this is what normal whiskey tastes like. It's really good. Like, I know it's a bad word, but it's so smooth. People love it. So I've still got a wee bit left, so I'll have a wee pour of that myself in a minute. Took them to Texas, Balcones Bourbon. This was the least preferred of the evening, but I can understand why based on the kind of demographic I had. It was 50% whiskey drinkers, 50% not. I think it's a wee bit challenging this for people coming fresh into it, but they still liked it. It just wasn't their favourite. Then I took them to some Wreck the Hoose juice, as we would call it, to the Kalila North Star. Bottle, 7 years old, 60.9%. This is amazing, to be honest. It's just damp beach bonfire with an old barbecue going. It says on it like lemon slices on the barbecue. There is citrus notes, but I think they were on for a shock. And by this point, at this stage, they were kind of a bit tipsy and weren't listening, some of them. And I told them, please put water in it, and they never put the water in it. Had its desired effect. They then put water in it. But it was great. Absolutely belter of a bottle. I got that for 32 quid. I think it's still available online for 45. Unreal value. So if you see it, get it. And then kindly donated, as I said last week, I was in Edinburgh, as you would have seen from previous video. I went to the Woven Studios and Pete, the blender, master blender, gave me a bottle of super blend for the tasting. We used this for the toast at the end. I knew that the people at the toast, it's a Highland Toast, which I'll put in after I finish talking about the Woven. I knew they wouldn't down it. They says, down your Dram. I knew a couple would, but there was enough left in the bottle. I was like, no, they'll have a top up. And quite a few of them came up. More of the kind of younger people. I hate saying younger people, it makes me feel so old. But the younger people at the tasting, some of the females as well, came up and said, it's really, really good. Can I have some more of that? And I was like, absolutely. Go and buy some as well. So well done, Woven. Like, you know your market in terms of experience. Fantastic. Let me pour myself a wee. I'm going to go for the Glenfarclas. Because to be honest, it sat on my shelf for a while. It's a gift. If you get the chance to have the Glenfarclas 21, and you've not, don't get put off by the 43%. Don't get put off by anything like that. It's not cask strength or is it chill filtered or any of that. On the nose, it weirdly reminds me of Cadbury's Fruit and Nut chocolate. and it's just this milkiness, like the milky chocolate smoothness. I know you're not meant to say smooth, but this is renowned as being smooth. It even says in the back of the bottle, smooth, smokiness. Vanilla smokiness, I don't get that. It's just very good whiskey. It should be when it's 150 quid a bottle, to be honest. However, if you were gifted that, you wanted to treat yourself to something special, I don't think you would be disappointed. It is a very Speyside sherry malt, and I learned this for the tasting, even though it says Highland on it. All Speyside is Highland, and this is just before the definition of Speyside came in, they had Highland, so they still use Highland. But they're on the banks of the River Spey. Ah, great. Absolutely great. That kicks us off. As I said, this is Black Lodge Rambling. These videos are just... The purpose of these is for me to come down to the Black Lodge, which is the name of my bar, and just kind of talk through what's been happening in the week in whiskey and stuff like that. We'll go through the haul. I have a haul. A lot of it was gifted because I can't afford these sorts of whiskey hauls, to be honest. However, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff, and I know that everybody likes to see whiskey bottles. The weekend whiskey, what's new, what's happening? Daft Mill release week. Berry Brothers and Rid, they did their ballot. I've not had an email either way saying I've won or I've lost. Word on the street is that means that I'm on a backup list, so if people that have won don't get it, I might get a call. That would be really nice. I was also fortunate enough to get the heads up thanks to your local kind of your core whiskey group friends. If you can find them online, find them. They're really useful. Of proper whiskey drinkers and enthusiasts, and I got heads up about a shop in Scotland that was doing single cask Daft Mill, and I did what I had to do, called up, had a chat, paid my money, and I have 2 bottles of the single cask Daft Mill. 9 years old, PX, bottled on Christmas Day. That's all I know. Excited beyond belief. So got that to look forward to coming. Pricey as hell, but it's Daft Mill and it's worth the hype. Loch Lear released some more whiskey. Yep, I could hear the cheers. Everybody like, finally, it's been so long since the last Loch Lear release. Look, the whiskey's good, but they don't have to churn out the releases. I don't know if it's detrimental or not. I'm not going to argue. They've got a business model. They know what they're doing. Fantastic. Wireworks released their new bottle today. I think it was about 60 quid. I saw some retailers discounting it to 50 quid. I'm not in a position, especially after the Daft Mill, to even be looking at any other bottles. So I let that one pass. But Wireworks are making a good kind of wave. And if you don't know who Wireworks are, English whiskey, English distillery, definitely look them up. There'll be tons of other videos. I know that Aquavite Roy is a massive fan of that. And speaking of Roy, big shout out. I messaged him about the Highland Toast that he did with Jim McEwen on his V-pub one night, and that one of his barflies had created into this beautiful illustrated version of it, and he sent me it so that I could print out copies of it for the guests of the tasting, which we did raise. We raised a lot of money. It was fantastic for the Disaster Emergency Committee Earthquake Fund. So big shout out to everybody that came. Thank you so much. You really did a great thing. Whiskey Exchange, London Bridge, staff there, fantastic. They waived all their fees, so we had their beautiful tasting room. It was great. As I said, rambles. Shall we have a look? Now, if you've seen my previous video, which is the Edinburgh wandering, soaking, Drams on the run, you'd have seen that I walked in and was able to pick up a bottle of the fantastically highly rated Oloroso cask 12-year-old Hazelburn, which you just don't see on shelves anywhere. So that was great. You would have also seen that I got the Grail, the local barley 11. Even looking at it, I'm just like, oh, so pretty. Which is just, there's 15,000 bottles of that in the world. Who knows where they went. So I got that. This, I don't think I've spoken about this in camera. Cadenheads collection. I'm a member of the Cadenheads Club, and the 11-year-old Springbank was coming out, and I went to ballot for that at my local Cadenheads, and I was fortunate enough to win that. So I have this one as well. Now this week's pickups. This here is Scapegrace, limited release number 1, called Rise. It's all the way from New Zealand, and this was very kindly gifted to me by a colleague, in part for my birthday, which is coming up next week, and in part for the charity tasting that we did through work. I don't know much about it, to be honest. It's a nice punchy bottle. Bottle number 4231 of 4548. Tasting notes: cinnamon cloves with rich creamy vanilla, buttered toast. Cask type virgin French oak. Grain type New Zealand laureate. It's a single malt. So 46%, non-chill filtered and natural colour. Let's see if you can see the colour. Yeah, you can definitely see. Hazy. So thank you so much, Jed, for getting me that. Another bottle I was gifted after the tasting was a replacement Thompson Brothers, which makes this the 4th bottle of this I've had. Now, Thompson Brothers, if you want to start an affiliate program for people recommending and profiting off saying how great your whiskey is, I'm your man to kickstart that. We've got another bottle of that. Fantastic. You would never guess that the tasting was held in the Whiskey Exchange, would you? I was also gifted, correct, an Adelphi. You won't be able to see because of the sticker, but it was the Adelphi Ben Rennes 14-year-old, 54.6%, bottled, distilled in 2009, bottled this year, one of only 248. And would you look at the colour on that? Oh my. It says on the back here, approximately 30 standard drinks. Cannot wait to crack into this one. You'll see a theme here. This was totally unintentional, but a hell of a lot of sherry landing on my shelves at the moment. I'm not sure where that came from, to be honest. We then have, let me get this out the road. Glendronach, cask strength. What's that? You said sherry? Let's go bold. So we've got the Glendronach cask strength, batch 11, matured in Pedro Jimenez and Oloroso sherry casks, and bottled at natural cask strength. I've never had a bottle of Glendronach on the shelf. I have a bottle of SNWS Glendronach, Nighttime Nurse, but this one is ex-bourbon barrel and it's very old school Highland, kind of get you up in the morning type whiskey. Even on here it says full bodied, old school, deeply textured, faintly medicinal. So not really your traditional type of Glendronach. So I'm excited to have the cask strength. Then what else do we have? This isn't mine. I picked this up though. One of the guests wanted to donate a bottle for a raffle we're having in the office. And so I said, why not go English and get a bottle of the Lakes, the one. I think I spoke about this in one of my previous videos about the tasting. This was really surprising at how good this whiskey is, and it's not because it's English, it's just that the Lakes kind of has this bit of it's a weird reputation in whiskey circles. You either love it and you go all in, or you avoid it. People just don't seem to go for it. We tried that at the tasting, and the amount of bottles sold, it was like if you've ever seen the movie High Fidelity, when John Cusack turns to Jack Black, and the other gang goes, I will now sell 5 copies of the free EPs by the Beta Band. He puts it on.
I will now sell 5 copies of the 3 EPs by the Beta Band. Do it.
And he's like, that's really good, and you start selling the copies of it.
The Beta Band. It's good. I know.
That was happening at the tasting with this, where people were trying it and then going, I'll have a bottle of that, please. So excited to raffle this off. I say raffle, it's a draw, but excited for that. And then the final one is Signatory vintage. Speyside, it's a small M beside it. 17 years old, 61%, cask strength, distilled in 2005, bottled this year, matured in the first fill Oloroso sherry butt, Kelsey, and that small M apparently means it's Mortlach. No, it doesn't, it means it's Macallan. So, 17-year-old Macallan, this was 150 quid. If you buy Macallan, you look it up, you know. So delighted to have that. Like, plus it's my first signatory vintage. It's just one of those classic. I feel like Paul Bearer with the Undertaker and the urn. That's great, fantastic. So it's been quite the haul of sherried whiskey. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, sherried, and then you've got the Kiwi, you get the 2 Springbanks. This one's not for me, sadly, unless I win the draw. I'll make sure I don't, because there's no point winning something organised. It's excessive, I know, it's a bit mental. I'm taking it as like early birthday presents as well. It's just exciting to have kind of restock with some really kind of like next tier whiskies. I think I went through a period of trying to buy more budget, affordable whiskies, but what you end up doing is your money, it spreads out. You can kind of accumulate lots of bottles, but then you don't have anything that's like, oh, this is next level, this is the next tier, this is good to share, and all these will be getting shared, definitely. So I'm excited for it, very excited, very grateful. Thank you to, if anybody's watching who donated these bottles, thank you so much, absolutely appreciated. I know people think, oh, you've got enough. Never got enough. It's like Pokemon, that's what I try and explain it to people. You've got to catch them all, and then when you do, they bring out a new game with new ones, so you've got to catch those as well. Are these alright in a way? Aye, you don't mind. You're watching this on a screen. I would love to know, folks and guys, I can say guys because I checked my stats, 100% of my viewers are male. Try and get some, how do I get some women to watch? It's really strange. I don't know if it's maybe just the YouTube scene, it's just predominantly men that watch videos about whiskey, and the women have better things to do with their time. But guys, what do you think? Which of these catches your eye? I know Springbank is the hot topic one. Has anyone had the Kiwi whiskey? Has anyone been fortunate enough to love Glendronach? I know there was a bit of scandal around Glendronach when they removed the label and they changed things, but I would assume this is from Billy Walker's time, when he was in charge. Obviously, has anyone picked up the Thompson Brothers? Got a separate video about tasting that. You can find that on my channel. I was going to point somewhere, but you can find it on my channel. And you know what's great? I set up a secondary camera to record this stuff, and I forgot to record. It was right up there. I've just clocked it. One day I'll be a bit more professional. So that's me for the evening. I don't have my watch on because I'm back on the Apple Watch. Trying to get back fit again. Really need to. I know the beer won't help with that. I'm away next week. We have another episode, hopefully, of Drams on the Run. Another city being hit to see what we can find. Fingers crossed for that. And I hope these are all keeping well. I hope the Drams are good to you. And I'll speak to you later on. Cheerio.
Magisch! 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 Ständig! 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 Schwarzlich! 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 Ständig! Ständig!
And then smash it, please.
There you go.